Good day. So now I will discuss to you the answers for the assignment I have given you last week regarding adjusting entries. So let's start with problem 1. So we have here the given figures for accounts receivable, allowance for doubtful accounts, and the accounts payable. So diretso tayo sa requirement. Ano bang requirements sa atin? First, journalize all the necessary entries to correct the accounts receivable and accounts payable. And the number 2, compute the correct balances of the following accounts, which is the accounts receivable, allowance for doubtful accounts, and the accounts payable. So, una natin gagawin is mag-journal entry tayo for these items na nandito sa ating receivable and payable. So let's start with number 1. The balance of accounts receivable is net of 30,000 advances made by a customer. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, yung amount daw na nasa itaas, itong ating account receivable na 200 is nabawasan na, net of, nabawasan na raw ng 30,000 advances made by a customer. So, paano yun? Kapag meron tayong advances made by a customer, ibig sabihin, liability na yun. So, hindi dapat nininet yung amount na yun dun sa ating accounts receivable. So, since ang sabi sa problem is na net na siya, ibig sabihin, natanggal na yung 30,000 doon sa figure na 200,000, dapat ibalik natin yun and i-record natin yung advances as accounts payable or a liability. So, ganito siya. Debit tayo ng accounts receivable kasi nga net siya. Dapat ibalik natin yung accounts receivable na 30,000 and then we credit the true amount for our accounts payable or yung 30,000 which is a liability. Kasi nga, advances made by a customer. So, kung advances, hindi pa tayo nakaka-render ng service or hindi pa natin na-deliver yung item niya. So, that's it. Next, number 2, includes or accounts receivable includes 25,000 sales on account not yet delivered to customers. So, ibig sabihin nito, nag-record siya kasi nga nasali na include na itong amount na ito doon sa 200,000. Pero, not yet delivered to customers. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa natin to siya pwede na i-record as income. So, dapat, ang mangyayari dito is, i-reverse natin yung naging entry niya. Kasi nga, since nasali na siya sa ating accounts receivable, malamang yung ginawa niyang entry, nag-debit siya ng accounts receivable, nag-credit siya ng sales or an income account. So, since hindi naman totoo na income niya na kasi nga hindi pa siya nakapag-deliver kay customer, so, i-reverse natin yung naging entry niya. So, ganito ang entry natin. Debit tayo ng sales kasi tatanggalin natin, sales is an income account. Since hindi pa tayo nakapag-deliver, so wala tayong income dun. So, debit natin, tanggal. And then, credit natin yung AR, tanggal din. In the amount of 25,000 pesos. Next, number 3, accounts receivable includes 1,000 sales discount not yet recorded. So, nagkaroon daw tayo ng sales discount sa ating customer pero hindi pa natin nare-record. Pero take note na nasali yung amount na to dun sa account receivable natin. So, kung iisipin natin, kung nagbigay tayo ng discount kay customer, yung amount na yun, hindi na natin yung makokolek kasi nga, parang binigyan natin siya ng discount. So, itong 1,000 na to, hindi ito dapat kasali sa account receivable natin. On our part, para itong expense. Kasi nga, binigyan natin ng pabor, kumbaga yung ating customer. So, dapat matanggal ito siya sa ating accounts receivable. So, our adjusting entry would be, so debit tayo ng sales discount. Since, kung babalikan natin kasi nga hindi pa tayo nagme-merchandising, pero hindi ko napansin na meron parang merchandising dito. Balik tayo na, si sales is an income account. So, ang income account natin is credit yung kanyang normal balance. So, meron tayong mga tinatawag na sales discount, sales returns and allowances. So, yung normal balance nun, kasi nga, mina-minus natin yun sa ating sales, ibig sabihin, contra sale account yun, or contra sales account. So, that is why nag-debit tayo ng sales discount of 1,000 para makapag-record tayo. And then, tatanggalin natin yun sa ating accounts receivable. Kasi nga, hindi naman natin to makukolect na. So, in the amount of 1,000 pesos. Number 4, accounts receivable excludes, hindi kasali, excludes 10,000 notes receivable with accrued interest of 1,000 pesos. The accrued interest is not yet recorded. So, again pag nagre-record tayo, magkaiba itong si accounts receivable sa notes receivable. So, kailangan natin sila ipaghiwalay, or since excluded naman, wala tayong gagawin dito. Except, the accrued interest is not yet recorded. So since sa interest ito siya, yung magiging entry natin, notes receivable tayo yung magko-collect ng interest. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong interest income. So, hindi pa natin nako-collect, ibig sabihin, meron tayong interest receivable. So, ang entry natin, debit tayo ng interest receivable, and then credit tayo ng interest income. Depende na sa inyo kung gagamitin nyo yung term na accrued. Basta ito yung entry natin. Meron tayong receivable, meron tayong income account. Next, number 5, excludes 20,000 notes receivable overdue with accrued interest of 2,000 pesos. The accrued interest was already recorded. So dito, since nakapag-record na tayo ng accrued interest, so wala na tayong gagawin for the accrued interest. But, take note, yung ating notes receivable is nag-overdue na. Kapag nag-overdue na yung notes receivable, or kapag nag-lapse na yung term niya, say for example, good for 3 months, tapos after 3 months, hindi pa rin nababayaran. So, kapag ganun, yung receivable is payable na siya, or receivable na siya on demand. So, anytime, pwede natin siyang singilin. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya maka-classify as notes receivable. Magiging accounts receivable na siya. So, meron tayong entry para dyan. So, ito na yung entry natin. Debit tayo ng, again, yung notes receivable natin, magiging accounts receivable. Kasi nga, ang term nito sa accounting is na-dishonor yung note. So, since hindi natupad yung term na napagkasunduan, so magiging accounts receivable na siya. And then, tatanggalin natin yung notes receivable. Ayan, receivable is an asset account. Pag tinanggal natin, lalagay natin siya sa credit. So, ganyan yung kanyang entry. Lastly, for our accounts receivable, includes 500 pesos transportation expense collected from the customer by the trucking company. So, itong amount ng ating accounts receivable sa itaas na 200,000, may nasali daw dito na dapat transportation expense collected from the customer. So, ito yung entry natin. Debit tayo ng transportation expense kasi transpo naman talaga siya. And then, tanggalin natin siya sa ating AR kasi hindi naman siya collectible. So, ito na yung lahat ng entry natin for our accounts receivable. Next, for our accounts payable, number 7, accounts payable is net of 40,000 overpayment made to a supplier. So, sabi dito, itong accounts payable natin na 150,000, bawas na ito ng 40,000 kasi nga nagkaroon tayo ng overpayment sa ating supplier. So, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng overpayment, yung amount na yun, magiging accounts receivable natin yun. I mean, magiging advances to supplier. So, receivable pa din. So, dapat tanggalin natin siya or ibalik natin siya sa accounts payable kasi nga binawas siya. Dapat ibalik natin kasi mali yung ibabawas mo siya dun. Kasi hindi naman tayo nagbayad ng utang. I mean, nagkaroon naman tayo ng overpayment. So, dapat i-record natin yung 40,000 as advances. So, hindi yung ibabawas natin siya sa accounts payable natin. So, ito yung magiging entry natin. So, debit tayo ng advances to supplier of 40,000. Tapos, ibalik natin kasi nga kanina binawas na siya. So, dapat ibalik natin yung accounts payable natin of 40,000 pesos. Next, number 8, excludes the 10,000 purchases delivered by supplier but the invoice was not yet received. So, dito nagkaroon tayo ng purchase or meron tayong binili at na-deliver na sa atin. Ang problema nga lang, hindi natin siya na-record kasi nga walang invoice or walang resibo. So, dapat isali natin yon sa ating accounts payable kasi nga na-receive naman na natin yung ating purchase. So, ito yung entry natin. Since hindi pa kasali, debit natin yung purchases. Tapos, credit natin yung ating accounts payable. Purchases ginamit natin kasi hindi naman natin alam kung ano yung dineliver sa atin. So, purchases tayo. And then, we credit accounts payable. Next, number 9, includes 90 days, 12% interest-bearing note payable of 20,000. So, sa amount ng ating accounts payable na 150, meron daw kasaling 90-day notes payable dito. Again, we have to separate that kasi hindi naman sila magkapareho. So, tanggalin lang natin itong notes payable doon sa ating accounts payable. So, ito na yung entry natin. Nag-record tayo ng notes payable and then tinanggal natin siya sa accounts payable. Kasi sabi sa problem na include daw. So, ito yung entry natin para sa ating adjustment for our accounts payable. So, tapos na tayo sa ating requirement number 1 sa pag-journalize ng mga necessary entries to correct the accounts receivable. Now, dito tayo sa number 2, compute the correct balances of the receivable, allowance for doubtful accounts, and the accounts payable. Okay, for our accounts receivable, since ang hinihingi is yung balance o yung correct balance ng ating accounts receivable, so gagamitan na lang natin ng T account. So, we have our beginning balance of accounts receivable of 200,000. So, from our entries from the entries that we made kanina, so i-reflect natin dito sa ating accounts receivable na T account. So, again, meron tayong beginning na 200,000 and then number 1, nagkaroon tayo ng debit for AR na 30,000. Again, ito number 1, galing ito dyan. Nakita nyo yan? So, number 1. And then next, number 2, nag-credit tayo ng accounts receivable. So, nagtanggal tayo ng 25,000. Next, number 3, nagtanggal tayo ulit ng accounts receivable of 1,000. Next, number 4, wala. Number 5, nag-record tayo ng 20,000. na accounts receivable. And then, lastly, for the transpo, nagtanggal tayo ng 500 pesos. So, eto na yung itsura ng ating accounts receivable na naka-T account. So, para makuha natin yung tamang balanse, kukompute lang natin to. Debit at saka si credit. Tapos kung saan yung malaki na side, dun yun malalagay yung amount ng ating accounts receivable. So, 200,000 plus 30,000 plus 20,000 less 25 less 1,000 and less 500 pesos. Ibig sabihin, yung accounts receivable natin is, meron tayong 223,500 pesos na amount ng, or the correct amount of our accounts receivable is 223,500. Next question is, magkano raw yung correct amount ng ating, or correct balance ng ating allowance for doubtful accounts? So, balik tayo dito sa paragraph, itaas ng requirement. INA's provision for doubtful accounts is based on past experience. 10% of the outstanding correct balance of accounts receivable. So, 10% daw ng nakuha natin kanina. So, ang 10% nito, ito yung amount ng ating allowance for doubtful accounts. So, 223,500 times 10%. Kasi nga, ito yung ating allowance for doubtful accounts. Answer natin dyan is 22,350 pesos. So, ito yung amount ng ating allowance for doubtful accounts. So, please take note na kapag yung basis natin ng ating percent or ng estimate, which is the 10%, if ang basis nito is the accounts receivable, ibig sabihin yung makukuha nyo is yung allowance for doubtful accounts na ending balance or yung ating AFDA December 31. So, para mas maintindihan nyo, balik tayo sa given. Sa itaas, meron tayong allowance for doubtful accounts na 2,000. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong beginning balance. Tapos, yung ending balance natin, yun yung na-compute natin kanina, which is the 22,350. So, kung tatanungin tayo kung ano yung entry natin, gusto kong ipakita sa inyo. Kasi nga, baka magtaka yung iba. So, ganito siya. So, gagawa natin siya ng sarili niyang T-account para mas makita nyo. Again, allowance for doubtful accounts is a contra-asset account. Therefore, credit yung kanyang normal balance. Pero, kung titingnan nyo dun sa ating given, naka-debit side itong ating account receivable as well as the allowance for doubtful accounts. And then, si accounts receivable, tama naman na naka-debit siya. Tapos, si accounts payable natin is naka-credit, which is tama naman. Pero, itong ating allowance for doubtful accounts is naka-debit siya. Ibig sabihin, pag gumawa tayo ng T-account niya, dapat naka-debit din itong ating allowance for doubtful accounts. Kasi ito yung beginning, yung given. Ngayon, i-apply natin yung na-solve natin kanina. So, itong 22,350, dito siya mapupunta. Kasi nga, after end, ito yung last or yung kanyang correct balance. So, again ha, kapag nakabase yung ating estimation sa accounts receivable, ibig sabihin, after end na yung makukuha. So, lagay natin dito, 22,350. Ang tanong ngayon, magkano ba talaga yung ating doubtful accounts expense? Kasi hindi naman tayo pwedeng magkaroon ng entry na debit doubtful accounts expense and AFDA na 22,350 kasi nga eto naman yung ending tapos meron tayong given na beginning. So, kukompute muna natin bago tayo magkaroon ng entry. So, since pataas tayo kasi ito yung kukunin natin, is yung tawag natin dyan. 22,350, add natin si 2,000. So, answer natin is 24,350. Ibig sabihin, ito yung ating doubtful accounts expense. Ito yung beginning and ito yung ending. So, kung kukompute mo ulit, 24,350, bawasan mo ng 2,000, ibig sabihin meron kang ending na 22,350. So, magiging entry natin dyan, debit tayo ng doubtful accounts expense, which is 24,350, and then credit tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts na 24,350. Again, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ito kasi meron tayong beginning amount. So, for the last requirement, accounts payable natin, again, gawa ulit tayo ng T account. So, eto na, meron tayong given na beginning balance ng ating accounts payable of 150,000, naka-credit kasi yan yung kanyang normal balance. Balik tayo sa mga entries na ginawa natin. So, from our number 1, magkaroon tayo ng 30,000 na accounts payable. So, that is for number 1. Number 2, wala. And so on, wala na. So, dun tayo sa mga entries na ginawa natin for accounts payable. Ayan. So, number 7, nagkaroon tayo ng credit accounts payable na 40,000. That is from number 7. Number 8, record din tayo ng 10,000 for the purchases. And then, number 9, magtatanggal tayo ng accounts payable na 20,000 pesos. So, total na natin yung correct balance ng ating accounts payable. So, ito na yung total natin, 150 plus 30 plus 40 plus 10, less natin yung 20. Ibig sabihin yung correct balance ng ating accounts payable is 210,000 pesos. So, eto na muna siguro, papause ko muna. And then, yung magkasunod na activities sa next video ko ulit. So, I hope naintindihan nyo and sana meron kayong mga questions. So, huwag niyong kalimutan na mag-chat sa GC. Huwag kayong mahihiya kung meron kayong hindi naintindihan. So, happy learning and God bless.